Let's see here. And folks, good evening and welcome to this edition of Biz Talks. My name is Fred Holmes. I'm an independent distributor with Zija International. My privilege to be your host this evening. Very excited about what we're going to do tonight. We're going to share a little information about the Zija company, what we're doing, where we're going. I'm going to have an opportunity to introduce you to a lady that has a tremendous amount of experience in this industry. Pat Terry is today a diamond with our company. Her and her husband, Mac McDonald, have built huge organizations in previous companies. And she's going to give us an opportunity to hear about why they chose Zija International. But first, let me extend a warm welcome to all of you who are invited guests. Primary purpose of our Biz Talks presentation is to share information about what we're doing with Zija International, and perhaps a friend or a family member, maybe a coworker has been talking to you about the income opportunity that's associated with our company, or maybe you've been using our products and they asked you to come on board this evening, learn a little bit more about what we're doing, or maybe they directed you to the video replay of this broadcast. So warm welcome to you. Also, I've noted a number of our new distributors. Maybe this is your first opportunity to actually get engaged in some of the tools we're using to expand, our business nationally, internationally, and so on. So very warm welcome to you as well. So this evening, I want to take a couple of minutes and kind of introduce you to Zija International. This whole concept of people-to-people marketing, some people call it network marketing, multi-level marketing. There's a number of terms for this. This whole concept of building a business from the comfort of home on a flexible schedule, creating some supplemental income. This has been around now, this concept, this business model's been around for almost 70 years. And in that period of time, while there's been literally tens of thousands of companies that have come and gone, there's only been a small number that have stood the test of time. What we call legacy companies. Companies that have been around in business over 20 years, have done $1 billion in sales or more, continue to this day. It's really been a challenge to find what's called a legacy company. And it's the reason why I got involved with this company is because of the founder of Zija International. It's a gentleman's name. His name is Ken Brailsford. Now, you may not recognize his name, but you will recognize who he is. Ken is known as the father of encapsulation. Ken is a master herbalist. Back in the early 70s, 1972, Ken and a couple of his siblings started a company by the name of Nature's Sunshine. Ken was the first person to put medicinal herbs into the little gel caps we're so familiar with today, to be able to make it easier for the average person to consume the benefits of these medicinal herbs. That's who Ken Brailsford is. Now, Ken created that first company. Nature's Sunshine has been in business now over 40 years, I guess 45 years now. It has done billions in sales. Ken went on in the 80s to start his second nutritional company, Zija International. Today, over 30 years in business, continues under the name of Unicity. Another one of the industry's, probably a couple of dozen companies in the history of network marketing that have been able to stand the test of time. And so to say that we have the most experienced leadership in our company, heading up our company, I mean, that goes without saying. Nobody has ever built two of those legacy companies in this profession. Ken Brailsford came out of retirement a few years ago based upon viewing an hour-long documentary that was aired on the Discovery Channel. It was talking about Moringa oleifera, a tree, a botanical. And it was reported as being the most nutrient-rich botanical that has ever been studied by mankind. The U.S. government's National Institutes of Health, the NIH, they said the very same thing back in 2008. Their 2008 newsletter, April 2008, most nutrient-rich botanical they've ever studied. Nobody had ever done anything with this botanical, and when Ken saw that video, in his words, he was spiritually prompted to come out of retirement to bring this product to market. And we're very, very glad that he did, because it has created not only an incredible environment to provide health and wellness products to people, but also an income opportunity for many of us to be able to create supplemental income, create a full-time income working part-time from home, and for many people to actually go well beyond that. And so the ingredients of a success in this type of, home-based business, you got to have experienced corporate leadership, the people that run the company. You need to have top quality products, ideally products that are highly consumable, used on a daily basis, reordered on a monthly basis. That's what creates an ongoing income stream. And if those products really work, then that creates a residual income stream. Now, when I was first introduced to Zija, I'd long since been in retirement. I had moved back to the family home to care for my elderly mother. She's now going to be 92 years old here in a couple of months. And I really wasn't looking for an opportunity, but when I heard that Ken Brailsford had come out of retirement to start his third and final project, because I'd been involved in this industry, I realized I wanted to be part of a Ken Brailsford company. Now, over the last several years, as we've been building the foundation of this company, we've gone from a very small company in leased office space with one product, our original Moringa drink. Today, we own literally tens of thousands of square feet of office space, manufacturing facilities, warehousing, distribution. We control every single aspect of our product line, from the plantations that our raw materials are grown in. We own our own pharmaceutical grade manufacturing facility that we control the creation of our products. Our product divisions have expanded. We have several divisions now. We have our core nutritional products, which include 3 different versions of our Moringa drink. We have a healthy weight management program. We have personal care products, skincare products, all the consumables that we have in the home, from, hand soap, bar soap for the shower, shampoo, conditioner. We have a line of essential oils that is second to none in the marketplace. Essential oils, something I really knew nothing about until we came out with our own line. That is a huge, huge market space. There's one company in the market space that does over $1 billion a year in sales, and they're marketing what's called therapeutic grade. Okay, we have clinical grade oils. Anybody can crush up 50 pounds of lavender and call it therapeutic. We produce our essential oils to the level of purity that is used in scientific studies. It's the first time anybody's been able to provide clinical grade essential oils to the consumer. We have a line of all natural sports nutrition products. The fastest growing segment of nutritional supplementation is sports nutrition. But when you look at what people are using out there, it's just terrible. Soy-based protein powders and so on, artificial colorants, artificial sweeteners. Long and short, folks, we have today with Zija International a platform, unlike what I had a few years ago, a platform where we have a range of products that literally every single person will find something in our product line that interests them. We have products that meet recognized needs. You don't have to convince people that in today's world we're over-medicated, we're undernourished, the food chain has just, been destroyed. Chemicals in every single thing we put in our home and in our body. People are looking for what we have, they just don't know it exists. Now, when you have the experience of the corporate team, products that meet a recognized need, the third ingredient for success is timing, and that's why we're producing this broadcast today, is because Zija International has already surpassed 99% of the companies in this profession, because we've been in business over 10 years. We're approaching $1 billion in cumulative sales. When you have that rare situation where a company has created that kind of foundation, that platform, the run to the next level, to go from 100 million a year to 300 million a year, that's where the fortunes are made in this kind of business, and probably more so in over 30 years that I've been involved, in or around the home-based business market space. People today are more interested in finding ways to create additional income streams because they realize they cannot be dependent upon the government. They cannot be dependent upon an employer for their family's financial security. A lot of people say, well, having a job is security. The security is one person controls 100% of your income and 100% of your free time, and we have a better way. Now, what I want to do this evening is give you an opportunity to meet somebody who's made a transition from traditional work environment to the network marketing or home-based profession, and why she chose Zija International. Let me go over here real quick. I'm going to be bringing you on to this side. There you are, Pat. Pat, I'm going to bring you over to this side of the broadcast. Folks, Pat Terry, I'm just so, hey, Pat, good to see you. Looking lovely. I'm going to unmute you here real quick. There we go. Good to see you here. Love being able to, oh my goodness. Not only do I love being able to jump into your house like this, and I'm in my home office as well, but I love your Zija sign in the background. That is so cool. And I was thinking I was feeling pretty cool because I got my Zija t-shirt. Let me continue to introduce you. I'm so pleased because I've gotten a chance now to meet Pat and spend some time with her and her husband, Mac. True professionals. Pat has been, her career is as a registered nurse. I'm going to ask her to share a little bit of her story, but I want you to understand the primary reason I asked Pat to be here was to share with you from a professional's perspective. She and her husband have created, significant, organizations and previous companies, true multi-level veterans who made a decision, I believe, a year and a half, 2 years ago, to leave everything they had and come to Zija International, which in, the overall scheme of things, we're a small little company. But Pat, thank you so much for taking time to join us this evening. Thanks for inviting us into your home. So let's maybe start out with a little bit about, your background and, what got yourself and Pat or Mac to make a decision to move from traditional employment types of endeavors to the network marketing business.
Well, great. Well, welcome everybody. Hopefully what I say today will help you maybe think about living your life a little bit more free. And really that's what it was all about, is freedom. So as Fred said, my background is I am a traditional nurse. I guess I'm not real traditional because my background is I've run critical care, emergency departments, trauma centers, helicopter trauma rescue. I've lived around the world setting up healthcare systems in other parts of the world. Why did I look for an entrepreneurial venture? Well, when I was in my 20s, my dad, who was a doctor, said you should learn to live your life through your passion and have freedom as you go. And so I've always thought with an entrepreneurial side as well as the Western medicine side. So, I kind of think outside the box. And what I saw when I was doing my, at that time, about 20-year career is you had to make a lot of money to be able to invest it in things and try to get the investments to pay off. And since my dad was wise, he said, look for avenues that you can actually live your life through. And so nobody had ever approached me with entrepreneurism like this. So the first time I was approached by it, it was a home run to me, because I know that most people today end up sick. And that's my career field, is they end up sick and stressed because they don't have freedom and they don't have finances. And my husband, who was a colonel in the Air Force, and we actually met overseas, we used to say if we could ever find a vehicle that could give everybody a chance to have an even playing field, have better income, better health, and better freedom so they could own their own time, literally that'd be like having a boat with multiple oars, and they could literally pave their own future and their direction. So the day that we were introduced to this model, I couldn't, it just resonated. And so we got involved. And so we were fortunate the first time, because most people choose a company incorrectly. They'll bump into a product, they like the product, and they start sharing that product. And you will hope that that is the 1% that literally can stand the test of time. And as Fred so wonderfully laid the foundation, 99% of the companies won't stand the test of time. And so Mac and I actually built to the highest level of a company, and we built a global business because we were helping people be empowered with the product and being anchored with a really quality company. And then the company changed their integrity. And so we're integral people. So we went looking. And this is very important for you, because now with a seasoned mind, you want to look at a company, and I don't want to reiterate all the things that Fred laid a beautiful foundation on, but you've got to understand that Mac and I are experts in this field. And so we had very clear criteria of what we were looking for in a company. And we in a group of people, vetted the different companies and ruled out 98 companies and ended up picking Zija. And this is why. I won't go into detail because Fred laid the foundation, but number one, you had to have the most incredible visionary leader. We wanted a legacy company, and they're just impossible to find. This one is a home run, Ken Brailsford. You need to really research the gentleman. When we met him, we knew literally that this is the place we wanted to be. We wanted the history of that legacy company and that person to be able to develop a company that could withstand the test of time. And so that was important to us, and we found that. We wanted the culture of the company to be there forever. And this is the important part, because before we were involved in a company that the founder didn't take that culture into the company. So when the founder moved away, the company became in trouble. And so if you want to put your life into something, you want it to be around 100 years, 200 years, pass it to your family, have it be a legacy. So when we came to Zija and met all of the people that work for the company, then we went into the field and met the field leaders, we could see that the culture permeated into the company, that it's people before profit, change the health of the world, natural health revolution, empower people. And that's what we wanted. We wanted a foundation. And this is where, on a 1 to 10 scale, we wanted a 10, as close to a 10 on everything. So we got a 10 on the first two. And then the foundation. I have never seen a company debt-free, even at the 10-year point when they're getting ready to go into momentum. And this company started debt-free. So there was the foundation. So I knew the future was solid and where it was going. I was looking for a product that literally was a home run. And this is where I'm going to kick in my medical side. Okay, so if you've been in the medical arena for 30 years now, like I have, you can tell people are shifting. They want natural health. They're shifting away from the drugs and knowing they're dangerous. And they're stepping into the health arena for the first time, really actively saying, I want natural. And the challenge being is that people don't have the habit to make change very well. And when they are already sick, which is 60% of the population already have major issues going on in some way, and then you've got the athletes that want to stay well and perform, to get people to start health and have to figure out how to do all these different things, I was looking for a single source, whole food, liquid, nutrient, whole food that carried a broad spectrum of benefit for the body. Because my number one most important thing was I wanted the whole pie. If you look at the health pie, say this whole thing is the pie. And so everybody for 25 years had been bringing me products to take a look at because they knew my background. And I go, oh, that's okay product, 7 nutrients, great. But what I saw was Zija with over 90 nutrients And the body didn't have to digest it because it was already reconstituted liquid. It was pharmaceutical grade, so I knew every single day it was going to be there for the person to be able to absorb. Literally, I own the whole pie of health for that person. So if I'm in front of people that have never before done anything for their health, this product becomes their new foundation. That I know I can't do it without this. So you start drinking this, and literally, if you've never done anything healthy for yourself, it's going to fill in and be your foundational change. And I call it a course correction. You all of a sudden take your first step forward in a positive way, and you change your trajectory. And in the future, you're going to have the most powerful health, preventative, restoratively, and even performance-wise, if you're an athlete, that I've ever seen with a single product. So that was a home run to me, was this product. And then the fact you come through the door and everything else is natural and it was fitting a need that is not being met in the world today. So that was important to me, because you can get 100% compliance. Then I'm looking at the timing, because I wanted a company that had hit the 10-year mark, because I've seen what happens when you actually are the company that creates the change that creates the hypergrowth. And I call it a 10-10-80 rule. So you've got, in the beginning, in that first 10 years, you've got 10% of the population learning about health, and you've got 10% that are the naysayers that, won't do anything for their health. And you've got the 80% waiting for that tipping point. Well, at 10 years, the tipping point comes, and we're at that point where people are starting to say, I want this quality product. I've been hearing about it. The foundation's been laid, and the company is ready to take off. So that was really important to me, because I've watched company go through the roof where everybody, all of a sudden, the 80% of the population that didn't know about you wants on board yesterday. And so that's a huge business opportunity. The other thing I wanted, because I have a business mind, is I wanted a way for people to be able to be empowered with their own health, but be empowered with their own finances. So I wanted a really strong company that had moved into the present day marketing. So the e-commerce and, the quality of web pages and the science behind the product, about the natural products. And I want to be people to be able to make an early income by simply reaching out and paying it forward. And so they could make that transition to earning income while they were getting healthy. And then those that have been in business before, they could build it faster and replace a full-time income as quickly as they wanted to by work ethic. And then in the end, you could maybe take it really big and go into profit sharing. So I looked at all that. And I love the fact they pay weekly. So you can actually show somebody how to step into this, and within the next week, they could have their investment on themselves paid off, or at least within the month. So again, product's phenomenal, company's phenomenal, leader's phenomenal. Now here's something that makes my skin crawl, and it should make yours crawl. Literally, this is one thing I didn't look for, because I didn't know this was going to happen. But literally, this is the first time in history that the whole world has finally hit the tipping point they want natural. 2018, that tipping point hit. So up until a few years ago, people were still saying, well, maybe I'll try the medical route, and maybe I'll try to get healthy at the same time. Now it's the entire world in 2018 is the tipping point. So the way I equate that is, it's like when we used to have the horse and buggy, and then some people got cars, and then later a few more got cars, and eventually everybody started getting cars, and then globally everybody got cars. Nobody went back to horse and buggy. So why I want you to know that is because this company has paved the way for natural health. People now are looking for natural health. This is the only company with that foundation. They're the most quality product. They're debt-free. And literally over the next year, as people are racing to land in a safe spot where they can actually take care of their health, you're going to see this go through the roof. And this only happens one time in history where these things merge, is a world change and a world company. And that's what we have. So I'm excited, Fred.
I got to tell you, Pat, now folks, you understand why I was really excited to have Pat Terry join us this evening, because she's sharing the things that you need to know about what we're doing and who we are, but from the perspective, if you will, of somebody who's been there, done that, you guys bought the t-shirts that prove it, right? And this is why you join Zija International. And everything you're talking about, Pat, it's kind of incredible because you got to see it here about, I think about 2 years ago, the platform as it was developing and about to, hit 2018, add that to this, convergence of the world's mindset. And I read an article that talked about what you're talking about. This is the first time in history, every demographic worldwide is now more interested in alternatives to prescription medications, surgeries, or living with pain and disease. It kills me when I hear, well, that kind of stuff happens when you get older. I'm sorry, I'm going to be 64 in like 2 months. All right, I weigh what I did in my mid-20s. My, no medications, my blood pressure, cholesterol, triglycerides, everything is perfect. This is what you're supposed to look like when you're in your mid-60s, not what everybody else looks like.
Well, and I want to add to that, Fred. So literally, Mac and I joined this business because we were looking for a business that could make an impact. We didn't have to test the products to see that works. The products work. The products are on trial. There's decades and years and thousands of years of history in regards to, if you really look into it. And then there's the 40-year history with Ken Brailsford and all that. So none of that. We were looking for a business. But I want to tell you my personal story real quickly because for those of you that are saying I am looking at other health companies or wellness companies, let me tell you, don't look beyond this one, because I was in another company, and for a while the product were working, but a lot of these companies are using, like I said, slivers of the pie, pieces of the pie, and as your body does age and different stresses, from environmental to work stress to family stress to maybe even your body got out of balance. Literally, all of a sudden, many of the even health products you're using won't digest. Your body doesn't recognize it because it's either synthetic or it's a standalone product. And all of a sudden, you who are healthy is struggling. So 4 years ago, I had a head injury, and it was a freak accident. I ended up in a trauma center, and I was trying to rebuild back from a brain injury, and I could not break through that. And I was on $660 worth of high-grade nutrients. I'm an expert at this, and my body wasn't absorbing it. And got on this, and this is after 3 years of being stuck, flaring an autoimmune, and literally having no memory. And literally, when I started using this, my body could recognize it, 90 nutrients, didn't have to guess at what my body needed. And look at me today. I'm 60. I am healthier 60 than most 20-year-olds I meet. Mm-hmm. So again, don't look any farther than this company, because we've got everything. And I had realized how many tools they have in their tool chest. So you start in with the core and you get that foundation, and then you go, what else can I reach for? What else is healthy for me? We have top athletes that, can't afford to be on something bad for them, for their performance. And they can go through drug testing because there's nothing bad in this. We've got people out there dying on, I won't mention the name brands, but these energy drinks, and everything we've got is safe. So it's a perfect landing spot. And from a business side, I have actually, and I can say this, I've only been involved in this company for 2 years, but I can actually say this. I have turned more people's health around just simply by getting them on these products, and then paying it forward and teaching other people how to pay it forward in 2 years than I did in 30 years in crisis medicine.
Wow. That's powerful. Pat, listen, I wish we had more time. I could talk with you all night long, but I really appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to join us. And I'm going to let you go back to the other side. Thanks again. Say hi to Mac for me, okay? I
will. Thank you, Fred. Thank you, everyone.
We're going to allow her to go back. And so, folks, you've had a little snapshot of who we are, who's running this company, the products we've got, a little bit about the timing. You've had a chance to hear from an industry, professional. Pat and Mac have built, really one of the large, they don't like to brag, but I will tell you, they are the real deal. I mean, They could have joined any company in this industry, and they picked what most people hardly even know about, Zija International. And so for those of you that were invited guests, came out this evening to the broadcast, or maybe you're seeing the replay, to learn a little bit more about what we're doing, I'm going to suggest two things. Okay, number one, get with the person that asked you to be part of this call, and get the information you need. You know, if you need to check out the products more, get the information. If you want to look more at the business end of our business, get that information. We have many different ways to provide that for you. But for those of you that are ready to make a change, here's number two. Get on our products, okay? Use the products. You have nothing to lose, everything to gain. We've got a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. You have nothing to lose. Use the products. And for those of you that are ready to change your financial situation, whether it be making that extra, $200 or $300 a week that would just change most people's lives, or if you're looking for a way to have a fallback position, create a full-time income from home, that way you're not dependent upon the job, the job, if you will, or maybe you're looking to take it even farther, to make true financial independence or financial abundance. I want you to get involved. Get started with us. A person that invited you to be on the call will show you how to do that. And if you're ready to do that, Saturday morning, this coming Saturday morning, 10 o'clock Pacific, that'll be 1 p.m. Eastern time, we're going to host a special new distributor training where we will go through step by step how to launch a Zija distributorship, get into profitability, and create some substantial income in your first 90 days. Now, if you're ready to get started, get with the person who asked you to be here. They will help you out. And join us here again Saturday. They will get you the link for it's the same link as this evening, and we'll get you started on new distributor training. With that, one last shout out to Pat Terry. What a wonderful opportunity to hear from an industry veteran and her perspective on Zija International. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off for now. We'll look forward to seeing you on Saturday morning for the new distributor training. Thanks for joining us. Have a great rest of your evening.